Today I'm doing a slightly different video. I'm going to be doing a massive book haul. This is a combination of Christmas, birthday and just general January, February book haul, so there are a lot of books here. The first book I'm going to talk about, I'm going to get it out of the way, and it is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. I think my review of this book should be up by the time you see this video, but if it's not, I will leave a link in the description as soon as it is posted. As you can see, I have already read this book and I gave it like 4.75 or 5 stars. It was incredible and I just think everyone should read this book. I will try and remember to link the review for this in the description box. I'm going to post a review and a book talk on this, so if you guys haven't read it, you can watch the book review, and if you have read it, then you can watch the book talk and kind of let me know what you think about my opinions and my thoughts on this book, because it's just so good. It's amazing. I See You by Claire McIntosh, and I want to say I Let You Go, but I might be wrong about that. But this is a mystery thriller kind of thing and it looks good. I'm kind of in the middle of like deciding whether or not I'm in a thriller mood, but I read a kind of sci-fi thriller recently and now I kind of want to read more books like this, so I picked this up. I thought I'd give it a go. It's pretty popular, so I thought this would be a good place to start. And I picked up True Ghost Stories. This is by John Seymour and Harry Nelligan. I picked this up from a secondhand bookstore, and for those of you that don't know, I am obsessed with ghost stories. I love paranormal research and stuff like that, so I am really excited to read this. The fact that it's set in Ireland as well is just really cool because it's a country that I know not that much about, but I know I have some very vague ideas of Irish heritage, so I feel like I should learn a bit more about Ireland, and I feel like this is a perfect way to do it because I love ghost stories. I love Ink and Stars. I was actually contacted by a publisher in regards to my own book that I've been writing, and they compared my work to this author's, and I'm halfway through this book. I started it a long time ago and I really enjoyed the first half, and I think I had it in an audiobook and I think I borrowed it and it sort of ran out before I finished it, so that's why I hadn't finished it. But now I have a physical copy, so I can finally finish this book because I really enjoyed it and I think it's going to be a really great read, so I'm excited to get to this one. I picked up Stephen King's The Dark Half. This is another one that I got secondhand, and I am a big Stephen King fan. I say that I haven't read that many of his books, but I am a big fan of his work, and I feel like a lot of his work is quite daunting to me because they're usually quite big and they're terrifying, and it's a big book to read if the whole thing is really freaky, so I feel like I need to get over that fear and just read some more of his work because I do really enjoy it. And I want to read Pet Sematary as well because obviously the film's coming out and I want to watch the original and then watch the new version and then kind of compare them to the book. But yeah, I'm gonna read this one soon, I hope. And it sounds really interesting. It's kind of different to a lot of his work that I have read. My favourite book by Stephen King, by the way, is Carrie, and it was the first Stephen King book that I read, the first horror book that I read, and it was brilliant. So yeah, I'm super excited to get to this one at some point soon, and I think it'll be really good. And then I have The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. I recently watched one of Clara's old videos and she mentioned this book and said that there were mixed opinions on it. I've not really seen that many reviews or like discussions about this book, but I think it looks really interesting. It looks really different. It's not something that I would usually pick up, but as I said, I'm trying to get more into mysteries and thrillers and stuff. So again, this seems like a good one to start with because it's kind of intriguing and it sounds weird. Like this actually I just read Annihilation. I said before that I read a sort of like sci-fi thriller type book, and it was Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, and this kind of gave me, from the synopsis, like it's nothing to do with it, it's not sci-fi, but the fact that they're trapped on this ship with a murderer possibly kind of gave me Annihilation vibes, so that's why I picked this one up and I think it'll be really good, so hopefully I'll enjoy it. But then I picked up The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, and I started the series on Netflix and I feel like I didn't finish it, but I can't remember, so I need to go back and finish it. But I really enjoyed the Netflix series, so I feel like I should pick up the book because a lot of people have said that it's really good, and I often find that if there's a book and a film or a series that's like horror, the book is almost always so much better. So I'm really looking forward to picking this one up. I think it'll be really creepy and really terrifying, and I hope it will be because that's what I want from this book. But yeah, it's a classic, it's a modern classic, it's horror, it looks really good, so hopefully this will live up to my expectations. Then I picked up The Snow Bear by Holly Webb. I actually read this and I really enjoyed it. It's a like children's middle grade story about a little girl who makes a snow bear, like a snowman but a bear, and it comes to life and she kind of goes into this dream world and has to save this bear and find his mother. Really cool. It's really interesting to read a book that's inspired by this kind of folklore and by a culture and a group of people that I really don't know that much about, and it really made me want to read more about them, so it definitely inspired me to do that, and it was a really good, nice children's read, especially for this time of year, so yeah, it was really sweet. So then I picked up Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I did do a review for this, I just haven't posted it yet. I filmed loads of videos and just not posted them, so I really need to do that. But yeah, I will try and post that soon if I can find the file. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I read it in one day. I was trying to do a 24-hour readathon. It didn't really work, but I did read this in one day, so I mean that's good. But yeah, this is another book that I kind of saw loads of hype about and wasn't sure if I wanted to pick up, but when I finally did, I really enjoyed it, so I'm really glad I finally picked this up because it was one of my favourite reads of the year so far. I know we're only in February, but but yeah, I really enjoyed this one and I'm really excited to get to the second book if I can find it. And yeah. C, or The Huntress C by Sarah Driver. I'm not really sure if it's called C or The Huntress C, but this is about a girl who, I think she's like in charge of a ship and she has to save her dad and her brother and something like that. It kind of just sounds like a good fantasy piratey story, so I think this will be quite good. It looks interesting. The cover is stunning. Not necessarily a cover buy because the story itself seemed really intriguing, but this was kind of an impulse buy, that's what I'm trying to say. It was an impulse buy, but hopefully this will be good and I'll enjoy it. But yeah. Books for my birthday, and I got another Tolkien book. If you guys don't know, I collect Tolkien books. I have probably upwards of 70 copies at this point, and this is one of the only ones that I don't own. So my lovely brother purchased it for me for my birthday and I'm super excited to get to this one. And yeah, my mum actually picked this up for me. It's a really old vintage copy. It's got writing on it and someone's written their name at the top, which I think is really cute. And normally I don't like to have books that are this beat up, but I just thought this was so sweet. The fact that someone's clearly really loved this novel and had this book for a very long time. I'll see if I can show you guys. Like, it's just so old and it's just really cute, so I'm going to try and read this soon. I was never a huge Winnie the Pooh person when I was a kid. Like, I remember I had like an illustrated bind up of Winnie the Pooh stories that nobody in my family seems to remember, but I remember it and I really liked it, so I'm excited to get to this. I think it'll be a good kind of nostalgia story to read and just remember childhood and those happy times. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to this one. And I have The Two Towers and Unfinished Tales by J.R.R. Tolkien. Again, I collect these books, so I didn't have either of these editions and therefore I picked them up, but yeah. So then I found Blood's Pride by Evie Manieri, and I actually got this from Poundland, but I looked on Goodreads and it had fairly good reviews, so I thought I would give it a chance. It seemed interesting and yeah, the synopsis, the like premise of it was really intriguing to me, so I don't know how good it will be, but I'm gonna give it a go. And it is a whopper of a book. It's like 500 pages, so it's huge, but hopefully I'll get to it at some point soon. Another book that my brother got me for my birthday was the illustrated edition of The Hobbit, and this is absolutely gorgeous.
That's for you guys. So it's all illustrated and it's got some really gorgeous pictures in it, and
I really love the story. It was one of the first books that I ever read, and it's illustrated by my favourite illustrator, who I have also met and had a book signed by, and I'm really happy to have a fully illustrated edition of this that's illustrated by Anthony because he's my favourite, and I just think this is gorgeous, so I'm super excited to have this in my collection now, and it's going to look awesome on my shelf. Then I picked up a book about planet Earth. This was just the behind the scenes of filming the show, and it has all of the information about the places they went to, how they filmed it, who was there, the different you know, people involved in making the show, and I just think it's really cool. I really like Planet Earth, so I think it'll be really interesting to read through this and see how it's filmed and all the work that goes into making such an incredible show, and it's just going to be really interesting, I think, so yeah. So then the last book that my brother purchased me for my birthday is actually inside HBO's Game of Thrones, and I am super obsessed with this book. Like, it looks amazing to start off with, but it's got so many cool things in here. Like, it has these really cool illustrations, it's laid out really nicely. It has information about all the different characters. It has behind the scenes information about all the different scenes that they filmed. It's really fun to have so many different little snippets of information and stuff in this book, so I'm really pleased with this. I'm so happy I have it, and it's just amazing. It's so cool. So then I picked up The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas by John Boyne. This is one of the first books I can ever remember reading. So I studied this time period at high school, as most students do, I think, and I read this for extra reading for my exam. So yeah, we watched the film and then I read it as an ebook when I was like 14, maybe 15, 16, that kind of age, and I never had a physical copy of it, but it's one of the most devastating books I've ever read, and I just feel like it's a really important book, so I wanted to have a physical copy of it because it's a devastating story, but it's a really important one, so I'm glad that I have this as a physical copy now. I picked up Outlander by Diana, and I've seen so many people talk about this, a huge floppy edition of this, so I'm really excited about that. But this is just one that I'm really intrigued by. It's set in Scotland, so that's exciting. I haven't read anything that's set in Scotland before, so that's going to be cool. But yeah, I've heard so many people talk about this. I know Naya from Naya Reads and Smiles is really like obsessed with this series, and I think Clara's mentioned it before, so I'm excited to get into this, and it sounds intriguing, so hopefully I'll get to it soon. And I have Philippa Gregory's The Kingmaker's Daughter. I'm not quite sure what series this is. Okay, it's from the Cousins of War series. It says on the back, and yeah, this is a really cool cover. I liked this edition, which is why I got this one particularly. I got the hardback. I'm really wanting to get into Philippa Gregory's books. Historical fiction is something I'm really interested in, but I haven't read that much of, so I'm super excited to get to this, and I think it'll be really good, so we'll see. But when we actually move house and I get all my books out of storage, I have a few of her other books, so maybe I'll wait and marathon them all, but I'm not sure. I think it'll be good anyway, so hopefully I'll get to this one soon too. I picked up a couple of Anglo-Saxon books. This one is Anglo-Saxon England by Sir Frank Stenton, and this one is The Anglo-Saxons by Geoffrey Hindley. I'm really into Anglo-Saxon and Viking history. I'm a reenactor, so it's a big part of my hobby and my interests. So yeah, I picked these up. I think they'll be really good. They have good reviews and stuff, so hopefully they'll be good. I do usually find them quite hard to read because they are so like in depth and detailed, but hopefully I'll get to these, and I might flick through this one first because I think this one is the one with better reviews, but they both look really good, so hopefully they'll have some interesting information in them and they'll be really helpful for getting an insight into things that I can use for reenacting. So yeah, pick those ones up for that. The Prose Edda and the Elder Edda. If you guys don't know, these are Scandinavian classics, I guess they're now classed as, but they are about Vikings and the gods and Norse mythology and all things like that, so I'm super excited for this, and yeah, they were an amazing present. I'm so happy with them. I'm so glad that my boyfriend picked these up for me, because if you guys don't know, this is a huge part of my life, and I'm really glad that I have these now and I can read them and learn about the different people featured in these books, and yeah, I'm super excited. These are two of my favourite books that I got this month, so yeah, these are also for my birthday. Those are all of the books that I have to haul today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if it's a bit long, but as I said, this is a collective haul from December to February, so it is going to be a bit long, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will link below any reviews I have for any of these books as soon as they are posted, and you guys can check those out. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see future videos from me, and you'll see me in the next one. Bye guys!